Now a TMJ4 exclusive. It's been more than half a year since Milwaukee musician Matty Gonzalez was freed from a desert prison in Abu Dhabi. He ended up there for what seems like the most minor of offenses, failing to travel with proper documentation for a legally prescribed pain medication. Only now is Matty sharing the details of his Badlands nightmare.
And he died right in front of us.
Sit across from Matty Gonzalez, and you can see the torment swimming in his otherwise bright eyes. The man has been to hell and back.
I woke up the first night with a rat this big on my forehead. That's when I would scream.
What did they do to you, Matty?
Because we have a 6 and a 10-year-old who are probably going to see this, I don't really want to go into detail.
We got to those details later. First, we talked about his itinerary. Matty arrived in Abu Dhabi last spring to do IT work on a cruise ship bound for the Far East. He was only supposed to be there for 6 hours. That illusion ended at a security checkpoint when officers found a prescribed vial of the pain medication tramadol in his bag.
Next thing I know, I was being transported in a paddy wagon, basically. It's just a van, but we were shackled. I was like, that's good.
He'd been in the lockup for months when I did a FaceTime interview with Matty's sister, Nicole.
His spirits are starting to, decline, right? I mean, he's in a jail in the desert of Abu Dhabi, not knowing when he's going to get released.
The interview with Nicole came as she launched a massive social media campaign and enlisted the aid of U.S. Senators Marco Rubio and Tammy Baldwin to free her brother. At the end of June, after Nicole had made countless trips to the Middle East and spent well over $100,000, Matty Gonzalez arrived at Chicago's O'Hare Airport, a free man.
Matty Gonzalez returned home to Wisconsin Rapids, where he grew up. He's been off the grid here now for 6 months.
Here, after sitting with Matty for a while, a saga of both endurance and unspeakable horror emerged.
It's 115 degrees, so the bugs, like the rat, I woke up the first night with a rat this big on my forehead. And the bugs were really when they're just crawling all over you constantly, that's when I would scream.
And yes, Matty Gonzalez was subjected to torture, electrical shocks, even waterboarding.
It's a lot worse than I ever imagined. You're drowning. It's exactly like drowning. That's what wakes me up at night, dreams about that.
Matty's captors wanted him to sign a document written entirely in Arabic.
As far as I was concerned, they were trying to get me to confess to smuggling 20 pounds of heroin or something so they could execute me. I didn't know. I'm not signing that. I'm just not.
So Matty resisted, suffering the consequences, and he didn't suffer alone. To this day, he doesn't know why one of his cellmates, an insulin-dependent diabetic, was denied the insulin he needed to stay alive.
Died right in front of us, and then the next morning, as if to prove their indifference for our humanity, they handcuffed his corpse and dragged him out, head bouncing down the concrete steps.
Needless to say, this world traveler feels lucky to have made it home.
I don't know. I'm hesitant to say just don't go there, but don't go there.
Well, today, Senator Tammy Baldwin's office confirmed their alerting of the Trump administration to Matty's plight, saying Senator Baldwin is pleased that her office could play a role in his safe return home to his friends and family. Matty and his sister are in the process of writing a book about his misadventure. We'll surely let you know when it becomes available.
Oh, how awful. Thank God he's home.
Yes, indeed.